people have been asking me since the morning, why should Indians care about what happened at Charlie Kirk's memorial? But it's something, not always should debate shows leave you with answers. Sometimes they can also leave you with questions. So over to you, your opening comment.
Well, if you ask me what look, I don't think it's because of Trump's speech or Vance's speech that people are moved. I think people are moved, especially moderates, are moved by the actions of the people on the right, largely, and the response that they had to the death of Charlie Kirk. That's what may have moved people, beyond the speeches that were made or the mentions of Jesus and Bible that were made. I think it was the response, because if you compare the response to some of the political assassinations on the left, especially, for example, George Floyd, it was followed by a number of riots on the street, burning of flags and cars and looting and shooting and all of that. But when you saw what happened in the last 10 days or 2 weeks, you could see the sense of calmness, the lack of violence, which was noted by a lot of moderates. And I know a lot of friends in the US who are liberals as well as moderates who mentioned the same thing. I know a radio host in the US who has voted Republican but identifies herself as a moderate. She called me and said, look, I'm not moved by the speeches of Trump. I'm actually moved by how the right wing, the people of the right, have responded to the death of Charlie Kirk, and also the fact that if you I don't know if you noticed, there was not a single representative from the Democratic Party in the arena, which was very unfortunate, because if you're a person who does not believe in political violence, if you're a person who believes in tolerance, you should have been there. So the lack of a Democratic representative or a political commentator have also raised eyebrows. So I don't think it's the speech of Donald Trump or J.D. Vance that may have moved people. But if you ask me, I wouldn't use the term Trump capitalize. I don't think Trump is trying to capitalize. But will it benefit Trump and the Republican Party? Yes, I do think it would benefit the Trump and the Republican Party, because, as you said, Christian conservatives are a large vote bank for the Republican Party, and the more that it consolidates, the more it benefits Trump. But it's again too early to say, because the next midterms is in the 3rd of November 2026. It's still 13 months away. We saw what happened in the last 13 days. We had so many events in the last 13 days. Israel reaching territory in Qatar. We saw Trump and Elon Musk shake hands again yesterday.
Yeah, for the first time, at least in public, for the first time that happened.
Yes,
we don't know whether they were shaking hands behind doors, but for the first time that happened. But I mean, look at these optics as well, Nirmal. What do you make of it? Donald Trump, a thrice married New Yorker with, I wouldn't stick my neck out to say he's got massive knowledge of the scripture. He's won evangelical loyalty. What does this tell us about the instrumental use of religion in politics, in American politics? Is this a shifting paradigm in American democracy, or are we reading too much into it?
Well, if you ask me, constitutionally, America may not be a Christian nation, but culturally and historically, the US is a religious nation or Christian nation, because if you look at the law, the norms, the rules, the regulations, the guidelines, the moral values that they follow, it's largely based on Christian values and principles. So I don't think it's wrong to mention Jesus or the Bible or the church in a speech. It's perfectly okay. If you ask me whether the inclusion or exclusion of a religious ideology is right, I would say you have to be fair, because if you're willing to exclude religious ideology in your speech, then you should be able to include it as well. I'll give you one example. The DNC, 2020 DNC, there were certain factions of the Democratic Party that excluded the phrase under God. There's the phrase one nation under God in the Pledge of Allegiance, and some factions of the Democratic Party actually excluded that. A lot of Christians felt disenfranchised. There were public schools in Democrat states that did not allow you to pray in private. So if I wanted to have lunch and I wanted to give a prayer, I wasn't allowed to do that in certain Democratic states. So Trump was the one who actually acted as a voice for these people. So they are willing to vote for him. I wouldn't blame that, because it's a natural consequence. When a certain political party decides to exclude religion from their scheme of things, the other party will capitalize. That's just natural.